Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I was having a discussion with somebody about the incidents of murder that take place in the black community, right? And the fact that sometimes we tend to approach it like crime and murder can be approached like a monolith, as if all crime can be generalized, as if all human behavior can be generalized, right? But in actuality, what we have realized through the crime problem is that in the black community, we have failed to produce a genuine system of conflict resolution, right? And due to not having a genuine system of conflict resolution, many of our people, from the young to the old, have developed their own way of resolving problems, right? And we will find that 9 times out of 10, this solution involves murder, grievous harm, or verbal assaults, right? And so, as I consider the incidents of murder, I would also like to point out that murder is situational. It's not possible to pass out a leaflet or a pamphlet with any, um, I guess, instructions as to how to avoid being murdered or how to avoid committing a murder. There is no such doctrine. There is no such um, structure available to us. In each situation, we find ourselves responding to the stimuli that is specific to that situation. Many times, the murders that take place in the black community are a response to a murder that took place prior to that. And so, retaliation is the number one issue in the black community as far as the murders that actually take place, right? Many times, a person is killed and their family members endeavor to carry out retaliation for the loss of this life, or the people in their neighborhood, their neighbors, will find a way to retaliate for the loss of life in their community, right? And so we have a cycle of crime and violence that perpetuates itself, right? But I would say, let me correct a statement I made earlier in this video. I wouldn't say that there is no um, belief system that can prevent murder, right? Because the reason I don't murder is because I have a life philosophy that I am guided by, right? And so, even in the food that I eat, I don't kill animals because of this belief and this notion that killing is wrong. All forms of killing are wrong. And so, that is what is a pillar of my understanding. That is what guides me. That is what shapes and molds my decisions on a daily basis. You know, I didn't create life. I shouldn't endeavor to take life, right? And so I find that this is an issue taking place on a mass scale in the black community, and many people are at odds trying to determine what is a way to approach murder and reduce the incidence of murder. I would say we need to equip each citizen with critical thinking that can guide them on a daily basis. Many times I think we become hostile because of also a situation where there is extreme lack, when there is poverty, um, when a person sees that there are no opportunities readily available to them. Many times, the simplest thing can make them irate. The simplest statement can provoke an extreme reaction from them based on the conditions that they are in, right? And so we shouldn't give anyone any excuses for their behavior. I'm merely positing some of the possibilities and many of the realities as far as why many people are led to create, at least commit atrocities, where they are led to commit murders in the black community, right? And so I think we also suffer from a lack of genuine extracurricular activities, right? Because let me not venture too far into the second point before I complete the first point. When I mentioned having a system of genuine conflict resolution, we need the elders in our community to function like elders, right? We need our people to be able to respect each other enough to defer to each other or refer to each other when there's a situation that needs to be resolved. We can resolve many issues internally rather than flooding the prisons with our people for petty offenses or, or actually um, compelling others to actually commit violence and commit murder. Okay, so at this point, I think we need elders to play a more integral role in community relations, right? Because we find that we are Africans who come from a sociology and a history in which we had villages, and the villages were close knit, and we handled all things as a community. And now we are placed in government subdivisions, which are populated by people who don't have a true connection. They don't have a true historical link to one another, and so they never function as a unit. The subdivisions that we create, although they look pretty and they have the infrastructure, they are lacking the fundamental elements that create village harmony and communal identity and actual respect for members of the community, right? So I think these are some issues that need to be considered, um, and give our people extracurricular activities. This is my second point. We need computer labs that are accessible. We need civic centers, recreational centers that are accessible. All right. Many times people find themselves involved in criminality due to not having a well developed social life. So hanging on the corner, and we all can see how easy it is to be stuck in a routine. Okay. For some people, it's going to Starbucks, and for others, it's chilling on the block watching for the quote unquote ops. It's easy for humans to fall into habitual behavior. All right, so what we find is many people are caught up in some habitual behavior, whether they like it or not. They are in habitual behavior that would leave them vulnerable to getting involved in crime. So, and also, many people are not as informed as they should be about the Constitution, whether it be their constitutional rights or whether it be about the actual crimes in society. Many people find themselves arrested and find themselves before the courts due to ignorance of the law, due to ignorance of traffic law, due to ignorance about what it means to be loitering, what it means to be um, disorderly. Sometimes people don't understand the definition of these crimes and find themselves involved in criminality, right? So we need to consider all of the possibilities and all of the realities that will lead our people to getting involved in crime, okay? But people, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. One love.